the grounds, just steps outside of the arena for today's Paul Silva open workout. The fight they said Jake Paul would never take. I've already won at everything I've done.
You can like Jake Paul or you cannot like Jake Paul. What you cannot say is he is phoning it in.
There's tremendous pressure on Jake.
Does beating Anderson Silva give you the respect that you deserve?
100%, and I have more than what it takes. I'm trying to get that KO of the year, part 2.
Give it up, everybody. Anderson, the Spider Silva.
I'll tell you what, he don't look 47 years old, Luke Thomas.
No, he doesn't.
Still entertaining the crowd out here. How does this feel to be here?
Nobody in my generation doing something I do right now. I'm so happy to inspire the new generation.
We talk about the Jake Paul effect, bringing new fans to boxing, non-traditional ones. If your fight with Anderson Silva just becomes a war, you okay with that? That's why I rode in on the horse.
This one's different because this is a new opponent, but we're ready to go.
He's going to have to bring a whole lot of stuff to get me to quit.
The fight they said would never happen has now become the fight you just have to see. In just about 24 hours in this very building, the greater Phoenix, Arizona area and on Showtime pay-per-view and beyond are waiting to see Jake Paul put his 5-0 professional boxing record on the line in the toughest matchup to date against maybe the greatest MMA fighter in history, former middleweight champion Anderson Silva. Only thing left to do, Luke Thomas, is stand on the scales and go face-to-face. So welcome on in to Showtime's coverage of the Jake Paul Anderson Silva weigh-in. My name is Brian Campbell. This is Luke Thomas, my co-host on the Showtime Sports award-winning digital series, Morning Combat. But Luke, we've been covering this from start to finish here inside this Desert Diamond Arena, Glendale, Arizona for Saturday's fight. We've hit all the topics, all the setup for it. But what is the most intriguing part in your eyes to this fight, which has very much become a spectacle?
The two worlds of combat sports see this outcome quite differently. Inside of the boxing world, whatever they think about Jake Paul, they do believe that he's going to coast, frankly, to victory on Saturday night. Inside the MMA world, that sounds like blasphemy. And everyone inside of that world believes, no. Anderson Silva actually is going to be the one that coasts to victory. I think that they believe, everyone inside of the boxing world, is not understanding the kind of magic that Anderson Silva is capable of. The reality is, BC, as we've been saying all week, nobody really seems to know. Of course, you've got Jake Paul with the youth, and he's obviously been training very hard for the short amount of time he's been doing it and escalating there through. But in the case of Anderson Silva, has been doing this so long. Has he been doing it too long? We're going to find out on Saturday night.
Here's what we do know about Saturday night. 9 p.m. Eastern, Showtime pay-per-view. And, oh, by the way, you can get ahead of the game. Order right now at showtime.com/PPV. What we do know is we're going to see 8 rounds or less of boxing. 187 pounds is the catch weight. Both fighters with the Arizona State Commission this morning did make weight. We will have a fight. We've got a ceremonial weigh-in, face-offs to come, big interviews. George St. Pierre will be here, so more to come on that. But the whole setup has been, well, Anderson Silva's great. He's got the UFC record, 16 consecutive victories. He's arguably the greatest fighter ever, but he's 47 years old. Those who have spent too much time harping on that age might have missed that Anderson Silva's transition himself into pro boxing has been a very successful one. Not just the one-punch knockout of former MMA legend Tito Ortiz, but how about going into Mexico, Luke Thomas, winning an upset split decision over former world title holder Julio Cesar Chavez Jr. That woke a lot of us up as to this matchup being a possibility, being a thing.
And not only did he win, BC, but he looked better as the fight went on. You thought that a guy like Chavez Jr., in terms of the experience that he had, would be able to show that class through the course of the fight. And of course, he had his moments, but it was Anderson Silva who was more creative, better combination punching, better strategy, better offense. Will we see that on Saturday night? It's been a little while since then. Hard to say, but certainly in the MMA world, they're expecting a performance like that.
On the flip side, obviously, the 25-year-old Jake Paul, 5-0. He stepped up his performance with each fight. He stepped up the matchmaking. This is expected, without question, to be the toughest test to date in his challenge to gain that respect from the boxing world. But enough for us. We'll catch up with you on the back end. Let's go up to the stage and hear from Ramblin' Ralph.
Welcome. Ladies and gentlemen, good evening and welcome. This is the official weigh-in here. Can you hear me now? All right. Ladies and gentlemen, good evening and welcome to the newly named Desert Diamond Arena here in Glendale, Arizona. This is the official weigh-in for Paul versus Silva, a 5-fight pay-per-view event, plus preliminary bouts streaming live on Showtime Sports YouTube channel. We have 10 fights in total tomorrow evening. This mega event is co-produced by Showtime Sports and Jake Paul's Most Valuable Promotions. It is sponsored by Better. Sports just got better. Download the Better app and build your Paul Silva tickets tonight. By Universal Pictures' Violent Night, starring David Harbour as Santa Claus, only in theaters December 2nd. And by Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2, available now. Tickets are on sale via Ticketmaster.com and the Arena box office right now. And of course, the pay-per-view telecast is produced and distributed by Showtime Pay-Per-View. Ladies and gentlemen, this is the official weigh-in. We begin with the opening attraction of the evening tomorrow afternoon. Doors open at 3 p.m., first bell 3:30. It is a 4-round attraction in the super welterweight division. Introducing first, he'll be fighting out of the red corner. A veteran of 7 professional fights, 2 of his victories coming by way of knockout from Augusta, Georgia, Anthony Hanna. £159 even, 159 for Anthony Hanna. His opponent, he'll be fighting out of the blue corner with a record of 1 victory and no defeats, fighting out of Los Angeles, California, Eliezer Silva. Once again, the opening attraction tomorrow afternoon, 4 rounds of boxing in the super welterweight division. £155 3/4 pounds, 155 3/4 pounds for Silva. Again, Hanna Silva, the opening attraction tomorrow evening, 4 rounds of boxing in the super welterweight division.
Never met a motherfucker fresh like me. All these motherfuckers wanna dress like me, but the chrome to your dome make you sweat like me. Cause I'm the nigga, like how you figure, getting bigger and fucking bitches. She rolling switches for her bitches. I want my niggas, they getting big up off the liquor.
Ladies and gentlemen, this next weigh-in is for the second attraction tomorrow afternoon, 4 rounds of boxing in the super bantamweight division. Introducing first, he'll be fighting out of the red corner with a record of 4 victories, 2 defeats, and 1 bout even. 2 of his victories coming by way of knockout from Irving, Texas, Dominique Griffin. $122 1/4 pounds, 122 1/4 pounds for Griffin. And now to the scale with a record of 2 victories, no defeats. Both of those victories coming by way of knockout from Glendale, Arizona, Adrian Suavecito Rodriguez. He weighed in at an even 123 pounds, 1, 2, 3 even for Rodriguez. It's Griffin Rodriguez, 4 rounds of boxing in the super bantamweight division. Once again, guys, tickets are available at Ticketmaster.com and the Desert Diamond Arena box office right now. Dominique Griffin, Adrian Suavecito Rodriguez, 4 rounds of boxing in the super bantamweight division. Ladies and gentlemen, this next weigh-in begins our Showtime pay-per-view countdown tomorrow evening, shown live on Showtime Sports YouTube channel. It is 6 rounds of boxing in the super bantamweight division. Introducing first, he'll be fighting out of the red corner with a record of 8 victories, 3 defeats, and 2 bouts even. 4 of his victories coming by way of knockout from Phoenix, Arizona, Edgar Ortiz Jr.
Ay, y me pregunto si tengo muchas novias. Muchas novias, hoy tengo una, mañana otra, ey, pero no hay boda. Y me pregunto si tengo muchas novias. Muchas novias, hoy tengo una, mañana otra. Me la voy a llevar a todas con VIP.
120 and 1/4 pounds, 120 and 1/4 pounds for Edgar Ortiz Jr. His opponent, he'll be fighting out of the blue corner with a record of 10 victories, no defeats, 2 of them by knockout from Glendale, Arizona, the undefeated Danny Barrios Flores. 122 and 1/2 pounds, 122 and 1/2 pounds for Danny Barrios Flores. It's Edgar Ortiz Jr., Danny Barrios Flores, 6 rounds of boxing, opening up the Showtime pay-per-view countdown. Ladies and gentlemen, this next weigh-in is for the second attraction shown live on Show Sports YouTube on Showtime pay-per-view countdown. It's 8 rounds of boxing in the super middleweight division. Introducing first, she'll be fighting out of the red corner with a record of 10 victories, no defeats, 9 of her victories coming by way of knockout from Patterson, New Jersey, Shadesha Green. 169 and 1/4 pounds, 169 and 1/4 pounds for Shadesha Green. And her opponent, with a record of 30 victories, 4 defeats, and 1 bout even, 14 of her victories coming by way of knockout from Caracas, Venezuela, presenting Odlides Suarez. She weighed in officially at an even 169 pounds, 169 for Odlides Suarez from Caracas, Venezuela. It's Shadesha Green, 10 victories, no defeats. Odlides Suarez, 30 victories, 4 defeats from Venezuela. 8 rounds of boxing in the super middleweight division. And now, ladies and gentlemen, this next weigh-in is for our featured bout on Showtime pay-per-view countdown. 6 rounds of boxing in the heavyweight division. Introducing first, with a record of 5 victories, no defeats, 4 victories by knockout, from Pittsfield, Massachusetts, Quinton Sumner.
Yeah. Hey, records on my
219 1/2 pounds, 219 1/2 pounds for Sumter. His opponent, fighting out of the blue corner, 6 victories, no defeats, 5 of his victories coming by way of knockout, from Las Vegas, Nevada, Jeremiah Milton. $248 1/4 pounds, 248 1/4 pounds for Milton. The big boy, 6 rounds of boxing in the heavyweight division. Sumner, Milton. Once again, this event is co-produced by Showtime Sports and Jake Paul's Most Valuable Promotions, sponsored by Better. Sports just got better. Download the Better app and build your Paul Silva ticket. Now, ladies and gentlemen, at this time, we will take a few minutes break and present our pay-per-view weigh-ins by the legendary Jimmy Lennon Jr. We'll be right back. Thank you.
Even in October, it is hot in the desert. Welcome, everyone, for the final press conference here at the Desert Diamond Arena.
When Jake Paul's involved in professional boxing, it's going to be a spectacle.
We are here on Saturday, a massive event in this great 5-fight main card.
There are some on Jake's team who advised him not to take this fight.
The pressure's on. The amount of shit I talk to people, man has more experience. So really all the odds are stacked against me.
What is your message out there to the fans that want to see the biggest fights being made? And
stop being greedy, give people what they want, and just fucking fight.
You know, over the course of my NFL career, when me picking up boxing, I just fell in love with it.
2010 was a rough year. Boxing allowed me an escape.
What separates you from the rest of the up-and-coming talent on H2O? I feel like that's kind of self-explanatory.
Splash. I have a bet.
Wow.
If you win, I will fight you in an MMA fight.
Whoa.
Wow.
You're so smart because I don't fight MMA anymore.
Kickboxing.
Okay. Kickboxing, all right.
Kickboxing.
Kickboxing.
But if I win, me and you come together to create a United Fighters Association to help fighters get better pay and better health care.
Deal.
Wow.
Let's go.
Can't wait. We're either getting a kickboxing rematch or an MMA Fighters Association. Something for everyone. If you can't find something here that you like, I don't know what you're looking at. Jake Paul versus Anderson Silva, and we shall see you on Saturday night.
Gentlemen, a very good afternoon to you, and indeed we welcome you to the Desert Diamond Arena. Here we're just outside of Phoenix. We're in Glendale, Arizona, and at this time we present our pay-per-view portion of our weigh-in for our big night of action coming your way tomorrow night, right here, brought to you by Jake Paul's Most Valuable Promotions and Showtime Pay-Per-View. We're sponsored by Better. Sports just got better. Download the Better app and build your Paul Silva ticket. Also brought to you by Universal Pictures' Violent Night, starring David Harbour as Santa Claus, only in theaters on December the 2nd. And also brought to you by Call of Duty Modern Warfare, available now. Reminding you, our international blockbuster night of action features 5 pay-per-view bouts, and our prelims are streamed live on the Showtime Sports YouTube channel. Well, at this time, we would like to make a special presentation and welcome to the stage our round card models. They'll be joining us here this afternoon as well tomorrow night in between rounds. How about a hand for Jake Paul's Most Valuable Promotions round card models? And indeed, a valuable message from Jake Paul's Most Valuable Promotions round card models. And at this time, I introduce to you the renowned combat sports host. He'll be handling the Q&A session after the fighters weigh in. How about a hand for Ariel Helwani?
Thank you, everyone. Thank you, Jimmy.
All right, fans, here we go. Let's bring out our fighters for opening pay-per-view attraction. 4 rounds of boxing in the cruiserweight division. Introducing to you first from New York City. People magazine named him the sexiest doctor alive. Here is the popular health, fitness, and social media influencer making his professional debut, Dr. Mike Warshawski.
Shit on me. You can touch the sky, but you ain't got shit on me. Cause I'm on top of the world. I'm on top of the world. Yeah.
182.5. And Dr. Mike weighs in at a ready 182.5 pounds. 182.5. And now we invite his opponent to the scale at this time from Stockton, California. His boxing record is even up with 1 win and 1 loss. That's in boxing, but he is a battle-tested MMA veteran. Please welcome Chris Avila. And Chris Avila weighs in at 183.25 pounds. 183.25 pounds. And Nakisa Badarian right in between these fighters in our opening pay-per-view attraction. Cruiserweights, 4 rounds of boxing.
Dr. Mike, good to see you, my friend. You're about to fight a combat sports veteran, over 20 fights in your pro debut. Can you possibly put into words what is going through your mind 24 hours before this fight?
I'm used to saving lives, and now I have to figure out how to do damage inside that ring. And for me, I have to suspend my Hippocratic oath to do no harm to get inside that ring, but be prepared to see a boxer, not a doctor, inside that ring.
Can't wait for it. Good luck to you, my friend. Let's say hello now to Chris Avila, the former UFC fighter, Bellator fighter, MMA veteran, returning once again to the squared circle. Chris, what did you say to Dr. Mike up there?
I ain't say shit. Fuck this fool. He's a piece of shit. He acting nice, but he ain't nice. He's trying to fuck me up tomorrow. Fuck this little bitch. He's a bitch.
All right, there you have it. Chris Avila, Dr. Mike, tomorrow night on Showtime pay-per-view.
All right, fans, here we go. We continue with our weigh-in. This time, we are once again in the cruiserweight division. It's a showdown between 2 former professional athletes stepping up into the boxing ring for the very first time. 4 rounds of boxing. First, please welcome to the stage and the scale. Originally from Reynoldsburg, Ohio, now fighting out of Los Angeles. He's an NFL great, professional boxing debut tomorrow night. Please welcome the 2-time All-Pro running back, the Juice, Le'Veon Bell.
197.5.
Le'Veon Bell weighs in at 197.5 pounds. 197.5. And now his opponent, born in Jamaica, raised in Queens, New York. Former UFC middleweight standout, making his professional boxing debut. Here is the elite MMA striker, Uriah Primetime Hall. Uriah Hall weighs in at 198.5 pounds, 198.5. Reminding you, ladies and gentlemen, the Showtime pay-per-view event is available. Showtime.com. Watch on any connected device. It's available on all traditional purchase options for pay-per-view and also available to international viewers. Can be purchased on fight.tv.
All right, let's have a word with Le'Veon Bell, the former NFL running back great, returning to the squared circle a month after you knocked out Adrian Peterson. But as you know, and as we talked about this week, there's a huge difference between Adrian Peterson and Uriah Hall. What do you say to the naysayers who are saying you are biting off more than you can chew tomorrow night?
Obviously I'm confident in my ability. I know I got a great opponent, and I gotta go out there and, showcase my skills.
Can't wait for it. Good luck to you, my friend. Let's talk to the former UFC fighter, Uriah Hall, Ultimate Fighter finalist, making his pro boxing debut. A lot of love between you and Le'Veon. I'm wondering, what did you say to each other up there?
Let's just go out there and have some fun, We get to step outside of our comfort zone and beat each other up and get paid.
Can't wait for it. Good luck. There he is, Uriah Hall. Make some noise for Uriah Hall and Le'Veon Bell.
And we continue with our official weigh-in. This time we move into the bantamweight division. This bout is a rematch between these two fighters, scheduled for 10 rounds of boxing. First, we welcome at this time from Cleveland, Ohio, former world title challenger with a record of 20 wins, 3 losses, 2 draws with 11 knockouts. Here is the bantamweight world contender, Antonio Carita Nieves. And Antonio Nieves weighs in at 117 3/4 pounds. 117 3/4 pounds. And his opponent joins us from Tijuana, Baja California, Mexico. Former world title challenger as well, with a record of 26 wins, 3 losses, 5 draws with 13 knockouts. Here is the world-ranked bantamweight contender, Alejandro El Peque Santiago. Alejandro Santiago weighs in at 118 pounds. 118 pounds. And the co-founder of Most Valuable Promotions, Nakisa Bedarian, between them. This is bantamweights in action, 10 rounds of rematch action in the squared circle.
All right, let's say hello to Antonio first here. These two fought back in 2016 on SHOWbox to a split draw. Antonio, looking forward to this fight very much. What do you need to do in this fight that you couldn't get done the first time around?
So the first time around, you know, like I said, we didn't know much of him. We didn't know what type of fight he had or what way he was coming because he was a last-minute opponent. But now we know what he likes to do, so we adjusted our game plan for tomorrow, and we're going to come out with the victory.
Good luck. Looking forward to it. Let's talk to Alejandro now. It's a battle of Puerto Rico versus Mexico. Let's show some love for Mr. Santiago here, who's been on a run as of late, representing Mexico. Alejandro, you have been on a roll. You have been a lot more active than Antonio. What's the biggest difference between you now as a fighter and the fighter who fought him back in 2016?
Has estado muy activo últimamente, más que tu rival. ¿Cuál es la diferencia entre el Alejandro de ahora comparado con el 2016?
El sábado van a ver la diferencia, van a ver a un nuevo Peque y les voy a demostrar que voy a ser campeón del mundo.
You'll see a new me on Saturday night, and you'll see the difference, and you'll see a new world champion eventually. I can promise you that.
Looking forward to it. Thank you very much. Gracias. Alejandro Santiago going up against Antonio Neves for the second time.
All right, fans, here we go. We're ready to bring out our fighters for the co-main event of the evening. 8 rounds of boxing in a lightweight division battle. Presenting first to the stage at this time from La Romana in the Dominican Republic, the hard-hitting lightweight contender, battle-ready veteran with 17 knockouts in his 20 victories. How about a hand for Braulio El Chavo Rodriguez?
On the heels that the Papa knows. Still grinding like it's pots and nose. I'm off the coast, still solo, hit my line when the deal is closed. Being there, mindset, yeah, goals is goals. It's up, we just get your walk, nigga, hoes is hoes. Pink slips in the D's, yeah, we live for those. Lube them up, work the grease, like a Mykonos. Can't lie, it's been a cold world. Nigga, I've been busy like a chef at Thanksgiving. Gangsta grill, still grinding like it's a $5 mixtape hustle. I've been on fire recently. Tell late the house, nigga, the deal is closed. Can't lie, it's been a rocky road. Nigga, I've been busy like the chef. On the heels that the Papa knows. Still grinding like it's pots and nose. I'm off the coast, still solo, hit my mind.
And Braulio Rodriguez weighs in at 132.5 pounds, 132.5. And now his opponent, ladies and gentlemen, hailing from Long Beach, California. He is undefeated in his young campaign with a record of 7 wins, no losses, with all 7 wins coming by way of knockout. Please welcome the young teenage rising lightweight sensation, Ashton H2O Silva.
I don't fuck with them Hollywood niggas. And the game want me to keep it white nigga. Cause all these rap niggas know my niggas wanna get it. Best bitches can't suck shit, no. Best bitches have to fuck the click. They try to have me on some sucker shit.
132.5. And Ashton H2O Silva weighs in at 132.5 pounds. 132.5, the same weight as his opponent. And there they are, ladies and gentlemen. It's our co-main event of the evening. Lightweights in the ring. 8 rounds of boxing scheduled. Ashton H2O Silva versus Braulio El Chavo Rodriguez. And you don't want to miss this fight. It's a good one. It's our co-main event of the evening. Tomorrow night being one of the greatest nights of combat sports in the history of this arena. Letting you know there are a few select tickets available. You can get them on Ticketmaster.com as well as the arena box office.
All right, let's say hello to the pride of the Dominican Republic, Braulio Rodriguez. After that intense stare down, Braulio, if I could just have a word with you, my friend. We've got our translator, Martin, here as well. Braulio, you're almost double his age, way more fights. You have been in this game a lot longer than the 18-year-old Anderson Silva. What do you see when you look into his eyes?
Tu experiencia comparado con tu rival es notoria, pero ¿cómo se te sentís vos de cara a esta pelea? ¿Qué sentís que va a ser la diferencia para que vos ganes?
Yo, bendiciones para todos, Dios me lo bendiga, no tengo mucha palabra que decir, yo hablaré en el ring.
God bless you all, and I just want you all to know that words are, like, I don't really have much to say. I want to speak inside the ring, and you see the best version of me on Saturday night.
All right, thank you very much, my friend. Good luck to you. Now let's talk to the 18-year-old sensation, the undefeated, the first prospect signed by Jake Paul's MVP promotion, Ashton H2O Silva. Ashton, looking forward to this one very much. Intense stare down there, a lot of hype, a lot of buzz surrounding you at such a young age. Do you feel like this is the biggest moment, the biggest fight of your career thus far?
I mean, of course, but at the end of the day, like my dad always told me, hard work makes easy work. At a hard training camp, now it's time for the easy work.
Can't wait. Good luck to you, my man. Thank you so much. There he is. Remember that name, Ashton H2O Silva.
There's never been a fighter in the history of the sport where you know their first 5 fights. You didn't know Floyd's first 5. You didn't know Tyson's first 5. The impact that I'm able to have here on this sport, setting a new standard for what it takes to be successful. I probably needed more experience to go in with a champion like this. Yeah, it's dangerous. It's not advised. I love a challenge. I want to do the unthinkable. I want to baffle people. And I want to upset people because that's what turns heads. That's what creates history. That's what makes people respect me for taking a massive risk. I'm not afraid to earn it. I'm not afraid of the uphill battle. It's either step up to the plate or be a bitch. I'm not going to be a bitch ever. Respectfully, I will knock out one of the greatest fighters in the history of combat sports. The Disney kid, the YouTuber, the not a real fighter. They're not going to believe it.
All right, fans, here we go. It is time to bring out our fighters for the featured attraction of the evening, live from the Desert Diamond Arena here in Glendale, Arizona. Ladies and gentlemen, this action, the fight is brought to you by Jake Paul's Most Valuable Promotions along with Showtime Pay-Per-View. Sponsored by Better. Sports just got better. Download the Better app and build your Paul Silva ticket today. Also brought to you by Universal Pictures' Violent Night, starring David Harbour as Santa Claus, only in theaters. That's on December the 2nd. And also brought to you by Call of Duty. Modern Warfare 2, available now. All right, fans, here we go. It's the bout you've all been waiting for, the main event. 8 rounds of boxing in our cruiserweight special attraction. At this time, please welcome to the stage, fighting out of Los Angeles by way of Sao Paulo, Brazil. With a boxing record of 3 wins, 1 loss, all 3 wins coming by way of knockout. He'll be making his Showtime debut. Here is the MMA legend, the longtime renowned former UFC middleweight world champion, Anderson, the Spider Silva. Anderson Silva weighs in at 186 pounds. Already 186 pounds. And ladies and gentlemen, at this time, but before we bring out his opponent, we have a very special guest we would like to invite onto the stage at this time. Truly one of the greatest MMA fighters ever. Please welcome the former two-division UFC welterweight and middleweight champion of the world, Georges St. Pierre. And now we bring out the A side of this fight, fighting out of Dorado, Puerto Rico by way of Cleveland, Ohio. Undefeated in the boxing ring with a record of 5 wins, no losses, 4 wins coming by way of knockout. Here is the renowned content creator, the popular social media superstar, and serial risk taker, introducing the problem child, Jake Paul. And the problem child, Jake Paul, weighs in at 186.5 pounds. 186.5 pounds for Jake Paul.
All right, let's have a word here with Anderson Silva. Incredible scenes, intense stuff there. Anderson, if you don't mind, just a quick word with you. Anderson, about 20 years ago, one of your idols, Roy Jones Jr., came out with a rap song. It was entitled, "Y'all Must Have Forgot." This week, you have become a big underdog against Jake Paul, just 5 fights. Do you feel like people have forgotten just how great, just how special you are?
Absolutely. You know, first of all, thank you everyone to come. I'm so happy to be here. And tomorrow, I go doing my best for make a good show for everyone.
How do you beat this man tomorrow?
Wow, of course I go win.
Of course. How?
I training for that, you know, but I go ask how to Doctor Strange, all right?
Okay. This man is a legend. I can't believe I'm standing here with him. He's one of the greatest fighters to ever compete in any form of combat. Show some love to Anderson, the Spider, Silva. Let's say hello to Jake Paul here, the problem child. 2 years ago, this man was fighting a former NBA player. Now you're fighting one of the most decorated champions in the history of MMA. What did you say to him up there?
I said, it's my generation, it's my time. To be a legend, you gotta beat a legend, okay? It's time for war. I asked him if he's ready. It's been nice, nice, nice. It's been sweet, sweet, sweet. I respect that man, but he's trying to take the food off my plate. He's trying to stop my run. And tomorrow, guess what, Ariel? I'm fucking him up! I'm fucking him up! Fucking him up!
He said that back in December. He was honest about it. He did knock out Tyron Woodley. Tomorrow night on Showtime pay-per-view, it's Jake Paul versus Anderson Silva. One last one. We have to say hello to this man, the pride of Saint Isidore, Quebec, Canada, the one and only George St. Pierre. A couple of Montrealers up here on the stage. How about that, George?
That's right.
What a scene up there. What do you make of all of this?
Man, what a great show. I'm glad to be here. I'm very excited for the fight tomorrow. I can't wait. It's going to be a lot of spectacular thing happening in that ring.
Dare I ask, who do you think wins?
Well, on one side, you got arguably the best mixed martial art fighter of all time. Then on the other side, you got Jake Paul, who keeps improving at exponential rate. And there's a lot of X factor into that fight. I really don't know. I really don't know. It can go either way.
And that's a very PC answer, very Canadian answer of you there, George.
I'm part of the promotion. I can't make a prediction.
That's fair. And if you would have said you were siding with your MMA brother, I would have understood as well.
I'll tell you backstage, though.
Fair enough. Last thing for you. Does the winner fight George St. Pierre? What do you guys think?
Nah, George St. Pierre is in peace now. He made peace with it, so I'm good.
All right, well, this man will be co-hosting the Showtime pay-per-view, which begins at 9 p.m. Eastern, 6 Pacific tomorrow night. What an honor it is to be alongside the great George St. Pierre. Show him some love, Glendale, Arizona. Thank you, my friend.
Thank you so much, Ariel Helwani. Brian Campbell, Luke Thomas here with you to reset after the weigh-in. And Luke, what we've been saying all week, when would the respect, the Bushido, if you will, turn into intensity? Was that enough for you from Jake Paul to turn that dial up just a bit?
Yeah, he certainly dialed it up. Chris Avila, by the way, dialing it up here as well. This is it. There's nothing left to do. They've made weight. All they have to do now is rehydrate and get their mind right for tomorrow. It looks like Jake Paul has certainly dialed up the intensity. Also, I should say, it was interesting when Ariel Helwani asked Anderson Silva, do you think that people have forgotten about you? I thought he would give a more, I don't know, diplomatic answer. Nope. He said, yes, everyone has forgotten what I've done. You know that touched a nerve, Brian Campbell.
Yeah, look, Anderson Silva is 47, but like we said, focus on that number, you know, at your own peril too much. The guy has made the successful transition to boxing from mixed martial arts. And if you've studied closely his words this week, as Luke just did, hearing up on the stage, it sounds like the end of his great MMA career maybe did not have that send-off moment. He's got that opportunity here, maybe a different combat sport, but the stakes, the attention, the respect, the opportunity to shine once more is just the same for one of the biggest legends in MMA and combat sports history. And speaking of legends, let's turn these two into a trio right here. When we bring in Canada's own, you heard him up there, George St. Pierre. George, this fight is a fun spectacle. What aspect of this matchup has you the most excited for Saturday night?
Well, if you look historically, you see Anderson is kind of a master to play mind trick. Very often you see him
put his back against the fence and trying to make it in a way that his opponent lose all his confidence. And at that precise moment, if that happened into the fight tomorrow, I wonder how Jake gonna react, because we know that Anderson is one of Jake's first idol, you know, in mixed martial art. So is he gonna over-respect him, or is he gonna go for the kill? Because I think this, a lot of the answer we're gonna have in that moment if that happened.
What would you say if Jake Paul called you tonight and said, George, I know you're doing the broadcast. I need you in my corner for the main event, and you could give him one piece of advice on how to fight Anderson Silva. What would you say?
Well, that comes to what I just said. He needs to take the fight like he's fighting another man, like it's another fight, not like he's fighting the legend Anderson Silva, probably arguably the best mixed martial art fighter of all time. He needs to take the fight like he's fighting just another fight. And a lot of guys that have fought Anderson before, they had that problem. You know what I mean? And Anderson has a lot more experience than in a fight game than Jake. But Jake, on the other hand, he has something that only a few fighters possess. He has like what my instructor, my teacher called the touch of death. With one punch, he can light it out. He then lights off the switch, you know? So it's very dangerous. You know, at any given moment, he can throw that crazy curve right hand that he has and knock his opponent out.
Ask
so it's
Tyron Woodley about that one for sure, George. Look, Anderson fought, maybe except for you. Anderson fought everybody except for you. But he's accomplished everything. Through 5 fights, though, you mentioned, Jake, the curveball right hand. What else have you been impressed with in how quickly? He had no amateur background. In fact, let me ask you, are you impressed by his performance
I am very impressed by his performance. Every fight, he step up. He started to fight an elite athlete, Robinson, knock him out. Then he goes, I'm going to fight an MMA guy, Askren, knock him out. Then Woodley, knock him out. Then every time now he's fighting Anderson Silva. And don't forget, Anderson Silva just beat Chavez and knocked out Ortiz in an incredible fashion. So he's stepping up his game every time. It takes a lot of courage, and that's why I believe a lot of people respect him. You know, love me, hate me, but don't ignore me, and nobody can ignore Jake Paul right now.
Remember a fight where you just really don't know. Like, you have no idea what's going to. And in the history of this game, we feed our old to our young. There's usually that handoff of the pay-per-view star of old to the new one. But this isn't a traditional matchup in that
George,
regard.
how about the idea that a guy like Anderson Silva is 47, right? On the one hand, incredible experience. I mean, he's been under the bright lights for years. He had more than 20 fights before he even went to the UFC. A lot of folks forget that. On the other side, 47, durability, speed, reflexes. How do you, when you've seen what you've seen on tape from Anderson in the boxing side, does he look like a true 47-year-old?
What happened towards the end of his career, Anderson had a few losses. But then he rebounded in an incredible fashion in boxing when he fought Chavez and then he knocked out Ortiz. He looked fantastic. So I don't know what to make of it. That's the thing with this fight. There's so many X factor. And on the other side, Jake Paul always improve at a rate that it's so hard to predict of how good he's gonna look. Like every fight, he doesn't even look like the guy of the last fight. You know, like he transformed every single fight. So it's hard to say what's going to happen, and that's why this fight is so interesting.
This fight and really Jake Paul's boxing career has been so different, so unique. I mean, he's on pay-per-view in his 2nd, 3rd, 4th, 5th pro fight, but he's also opening up a new lane for retired great MMA fighters. I don't know if you want to call it a retirement program. I don't know if you want to call it just another opportunity to shine.
Entertainment. We are, like, whether you're an actor, a singer, an athlete, we are in the entertainment business. And that's why people forget sometimes. This fight is, you know, it's a great entertaining fight. You know, of course, it's not to determine who's the best boxer in the world, but it's a very entertaining fight. We live in a new era right now, and I think it's very interesting. He's opening up new opportunities to a lot of people.
Yeah, I mean, he's bringing light on women's boxing, but particularly we heard in the press conference just yesterday. He says, Anderson, I love you so much. Why don't we partner together? Why don't we make a bet where if I win, we partner together and start an MMA Fighters Association /union? You know, a little thing about that. Is Jake Paul the Robin Hood of combat sports right now?
Well, I think we need guys. If someone going to start a union, I mean, it's going to happen at one point, 100%. It did not happen so far because people get into argument. But I believe at one point it will happen, because if you look historically in every other sport, baseball, basketball, ice hockey, it happened. You know, and the way the fighters are treated in mixed martial arts, unfortunately, it's not very good. You know what I mean? You only hear about the one that make it, you know, but the truth is it's a sad story for most of them.
Because if you were king for a day, if you were king of MMA for a day, what's the first thing you'd change? King for a day.
Well, the salary, 100%. I will change the salary because I think it's unacceptable, and the condition to what happened after their career. You know what I mean? So they have assurance, or they have some kind of backup. You know what I mean? That they can fall in on if something bad happened, you know?
Now, George, I see you taking ice baths on TikTok all the time, which means you're training all the time. You look to be in phenomenal shape.
Oh, yeah.
You were talking about this entertainment era. When is George St. Pierre going to be a part of that entertainment era?
Listen, you never say never, but my days of trying to prove that I'm the strongest man in the world is done now. I made peace with it. I don't say that I will ever... I might participate at some point to a sporting contest, you know, could be boxing or maybe grappling. But if it's well organized for a good cause, why not? It's entertainment. You know what I mean? But my days of competing to prove that this is over for me.
Yes. I think he's going to come back. That's just me talking. I mean, the guy's in great shape.
Hey, listen,
let's not.
All I'll say is the fans want it. That's what I'll say.
Well, let's talk about Anderson's potential moment here. We know what the moment means to Jake. It makes him legitimate in a lot of people's eyes. He's fighting a decorated combat veteran who has real boxing experience. But for Anderson, you had one of the greatest, no disrespect here, old guy wins in the history of the sport. You came back from a 5-year break. You moved up in weight. You win the middleweight championship from Michael Bisping, Madison Square Garden, and it was a moment that touched people's heart.
We were there.
Because, you know, like George Foreman winning the heavyweight title at 45, it's one of those moments. What do you think for Anderson? What is he getting out of this at 47?
The key of this, it's the lifestyle. You know, Anderson is not someone who takes drugs. He's someone that has a healthy lifestyle, you know. And that's the key, you know what I mean, of longevity in this game, you know what I mean? So he's training all the time on a regular basis, every day, and that's the key, you know what I mean? It has to do with your lifestyle, because it doesn't have to do with the fight, because you fight maybe a few times a year, but your lifestyle, that's what you have every day, the way you treat your body, the way you take care of yourself. And Anderson he's 47, but he's not really a true 47. He's more of a 30-something.
He's an alien, let's be honest.
George, are you surprised at the odds for this fight? They've got currently in most places, as time of this broadcast, Jake Paul at about a 2-to-1 favorite. You surprised by that?
I'm surprised a little bit. I've heard that the odds were favoring Silva in the beginning, but then they
switched.
They switched to Paul. I mean, things happen. Maybe people were betting on one side, and then the odds flip, and there's a lot of stories of sparring that someone got hurt, and I've heard, I don't know if it's true, but things like this sometimes made people switch, you know. So
did you ever pay attention to the odds when you were fighting?
Not really, because you're trying to only focus on things that you control, and if you focus on those things, it's not the right thing to do it, you know, I believe, because you're gonna waste a lot of energy, and these are things that you do not have any control on, you know what I mean?
Making that transition from mixed martial arts to boxing, it's not seamless for everyone, right? I mean, McGregor showed out to a certain degree against Floyd, but there were some things you just can't learn in one training camp. Anderson seems to be different, but you always had a very boxing-heavy game. I mean, you're the ultimate mixed martial artist.
Train with Freddie
But your focus on boxing, the rematch with Josh Koscheck, that jab was incredible. Why was that so important to always make sure that side of your game was locked up?
Yeah, I decided to train with Freddie Roach, who I consider the best boxing trainer of all time. But I spar with many world champions as well. And the thing is, boxing is a very specialized sport. You know, it's like we're fighting, but we're not allowed to kick, we're not allowed to grab, we're not, you know, it's a lot of things. So because of the rules, it makes it a very specialized sport. So when I used to spar with the world champion boxing, I can hang my home for 3-4 rounds. But these guys are much economical than I am at that particular game, because they are specialized. Because in MMA, there is no inside boxing. You grab the guy, you know, you clinch the guy, your knees, your elbows, because in short range you use different weapons. In boxing, you're not allowed to do it. So it's a very specialized sport. Therefore, boxers will always have an edge on MMA fighters in boxing, of course.
So it actually leads me to wonder about Uriah Hall. He's got a fight coming up, but unlike Jake and Anderson, that's an 8-round fight. Uriah Hall, coming straight from the UFC, has a 4-round fight against an NFL amazing running back. Obviously, he's no longer in the NFL, but during his time was a very, very good celebrated figure. What do you make of this one? This is a super weird one. If you're Uriah Hall, you shouldn't lose this, right?
Le'Veon Bell, the opponent.
No, normally it has to do with the boxing experience. There, just an example of this. You know, like if you play softball, we've seen a lot of baseball stars going to softball, and you think they're gonna do well, but they don't, because the ball comes from under instead of over, and the distance is different. It changed the whole thing. As soon as you start changing the rules, you change the game. So I really wonder who's the man who has the most experience in boxing, and that's what matters. Of course, the experience of fighting it's similar, but boxing, that's what matters, because it's very specialized.
All right, we know you're going to be a part of this broadcast, welcoming the fans in to open the Showtime pay-per-view Saturday night, 9 p.m. Eastern. What else is going on with GSP since walking away for good from the sport of MMA?
I'm more busy now than I was when I was competing. My life is beautiful. I don't, you know, when I come into an event like this, I really enjoy it. You know, I'm having a good time. But it also makes me remember how much I don't miss this.
I thought you would say the opposite.
No, I don't. I made peace with it, and I'm gonna tell you the truth. I really enjoy my time now. You know, when I was fighting, I was like very stressed. You know, the feeling of not knowing what's gonna happen. Are you gonna be humiliated, badly injured, or are you gonna win? It's unbearable for me. It was unbearable, and it gives me a lot of stress. But now, a night like tonight and tomorrow night is going to be a lot of fun for me.
He's a model of what we should be looking like in our 40s, but we're not.
Unfortunately.
Okay?
How old are you, George?
Listen, I still train every day. I still get it. You know, so when I train with the young guys, they still ask me, hey, are you preparing a comeback? I could have turned the switch if I wanted to and make a comeback, but my heart is not there. You know, that's the thing. You know, I'm 41 years old.
He's had a lot of cool moments.
You look like you're in phenomenal shape. But again, I see you on those ice baths on TikTok.
My man, that's how athletes should retire. You know, on top of their game, in shape, and they shouldn't wait like they lose everything, you know. And I look at Anderson Silva. I wish him the best of luck. It's very inspiring for me to see him succeed the way he does it right now. You know what I mean? And I'm very glad. But I hope he keep doing it as long as he's successful. But if something goes wrong, I hope he's gonna have the right mind to stop, you know, because it could become an addiction for a lot of people.
He's almost 50. Almost 50.
It's incredible. I don't know how he does it. It's a freak of nature, you know.
The former 2-division UFC champion, one of the kings of combat sports. I mean, there's like a royalty factor when you walk in the building, and that you've earned that. That is George St. Pierre and Luke Thomas, Brian Campbell here to wrap it up. Saturday night, 9 p.m. Eastern. It's Jake Paul. It's Anderson Silva. Showtime pay-per-view. You can order it now. Showtime.com/PPV. And your final plug. It all begins with Showtime pay-per-view countdown. 7 p.m. Eastern on the Showtime Sports YouTube channel. Luke Thomas, your boy BC, preliminary fight special guest. You don't want to miss it. Enjoy the fights this weekend in the desert. It's Jake Paul. It's Anderson Silva.
Even in October, it is hot in the desert. Welcome, everyone, for the final press conference here at the Desert Diamond Arena.
When Jake Paul's involved in professional boxing, it's going to be a spectacle.
We are here on Saturday, a massive event in this great 5-fight main card.
There are some on Jake's team who advised him not to take this fight.
The pressure is on. The amount of shit I talk to people, man has more experience. So really all the odds are stacked against me.
What is your message out there to the fans that want to see the biggest fights being made?
Stop being greedy, give people what they want, and just fucking fight.
You know, over the course of my NFL career, me picking up boxing, I just fell in love with it.
2010 was a rough year. Boxing allowed me an escape.
What separates you from the rest of the up-and-coming talent on H2O? I feel like that's kind of self-explanatory.
Splash. I have a bet.
Wow.
If you win, I will fight you in an MMA fight.
Whoa.
Wow.
You're so smart because I don't fight MMA anymore.
Kickboxing.
Okay. Kickboxing, all right.
Kickboxing.
Kickboxing.
But if I win, me and you come together to create a United Fighters Association to help fighters get better pay and better health care.
Deal.
Wow.
Let's go.
Can't wait. We're either getting a kickboxing rematch or an MMA Fighters Association. Something for everyone. If you can't find something here that you like, I don't know what you're looking at. Jake Paul versus Anderson Silva, and we shall see you on Saturday night.